Hey guys, welcome back to another creepy video compilation. Please help me get this recommended to others by liking this video, and if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can keep seeing videos just like this.
I'm not joking, I will never go on a cruise because of this story. In 1998, 23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley decided to tag along on her family's trip on a cruise. The boat was called Rhapsody of the Seas, and it was one of those huge cruise ships, and it was supposed to sail through the Caribbean around Aruba and Curacao. Amy never came back from this cruise, and I know you might say, how could you go missing on a cruise ship? Well, she did, and there's a lot of shady stuff that happened before as well as after her disappearance. So the night before she went missing, the family got dinner together, and then she and her brother went out dancing. This is a video filmed by the cruise, and Amy started dancing with a member of the cruise's band named Yellow. They were all having a lot of fun, and Amy and her mom wanted to get some of these photos that the cruise's hired photographer had been walking around and taking. But when they went to the photo pickup area, all the photos of Amy were already gone, like somebody had already purchased them. Amy was last seen around 6 a.m. when she told her dad that she was going to go smoke a cigarette. Her dad reported her missing a few hours later. Now, one of the reasons I find cruises so creepy is that they don't really have any authority beyond the captain. There was no police that Amy's disappearance could be reported to. All they could do was ask the captain to make an announcement over the intercom, which he refused to do because it was too early in the morning. He did agree to do it a few hours later though, and they also asked him if he could avoid docking until they located Amy, because once they docked and let everybody off the ship, finding her would be so much harder. One really creepy fact is that Yellow, that band guy she was dancing with, walked up to her brother Brad and said, "Hey man, I'm sorry to hear about your sister," even though this hadn't been announced publicly yet. It was basically just known within Amy's family and then the captain that they had just spoken to. The ship did dock and people got out, and Amy's family found out that they actually hadn't searched the ship for her. They had only searched the common areas, and she could have easily been in somebody's room. Then there are the sightings. In August 1998, a man said that he saw Amy walking with two other men, but then they grabbed her when she tried to run towards him. Then in 2005, a woman came forward saying she was in a department store bathroom in Barbados when a woman and a man came in. The man yelled at the woman, and then he walked away, and she walked out, and Amy Lynn Bradley was standing right there. She asked her name and she said it was Amy, but then the men came back in and grabbed her. A Navy officer also said that he was at a brothel in Curacao, and the woman he was with said that her name was Amy and that they wouldn't let her leave. Adding to this is the fact that this photo was found on an escort website for the Caribbean. She looks a lot like Amy. She has the same rosy cheekbones, the nose is similar, her lips are similar, as well as her chin. It's really possible that some of the employees on this cruise line were scouting Amy to be sold into a sex ring. Investigations that require multiple countries to participate are always difficult, and Amy's case is currently unsolved and she has not been located.
Dude, that is 100% her. That is the exact same person in those pictures. How is it that cruise ships or cruise companies can get away with this? Wouldn't the FBI get involved in cases like this? What the hell kind of bug is that, man? I imagine this is what having schizophrenia must be like. I have never seen that in my life.
The illegal sales from the morgue here went on for at least 5 years. Prosecutors say a morgue at Harvard became a macabre marketplace for heads, brains, skin, bones, and other body parts. The accused grisly shopkeeper, morgue manager Cedric Lodge.
Would you give anyone access to that morgue?
He walked past reporters after facing a judge today. His wife Denise was also silent. Investigators say she helped him sell stolen remains out of their New Hampshire home.
No comment.
Katrina McLean was one of the buyers, prosecutors say, accused of purchasing 2 dissected faces for $600. Do you have anything to say to the family? He's the owner of Cat's Creepy Creations in Peabody, and investigators say she stored and sold body parts out of the store. She's even accused of shipping human skin to this man in Pennsylvania to have him, quote, tan the skin to create leather.
From what I've seen in pictures, before, maybe on their Instagram, they read the bones and things, you know?
Investigators say the body parts came from cadavers donated to Harvard and used for educational purposes. But they say Cedric Lodge would open the morgue to let buyers browse.
It's an investigation. I guess it's going to play itself out in court.
Katrina McLean's attorney said little after her court appearance, but acknowledged that facing the disturbing charges has been difficult.
She's never been in trouble before, and obviously this was very distressful. She just wants to be home with her family.
Wow, I bet you this isn't the only morgue where this is happening. They need to start checking other morgues too, man. Because apparently there's a market. They had customers lining up, you know?
Yes.
Oh my god, you goof. You goof. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That gave me sweaty palms. Do not be this guy. That fish looked like he wanted to ask what type of games you got on your phone.
This is the footage from a home security camera in Vacaville, California. It was April when this footage was taken, and during that time of year, it's common to see a lot of activity in the form of kids walking home from school each afternoon. On this day, at some point, a girl with a backpack on is shown walking into frame. She was walking home from school like everyone else. However, she had been being followed for several blocks by a man in a dark-colored Pontiac. She noticed this, and so she used a large truck parked on the side of the road to hide. She abruptly stops walking while she's out of view of the Pontiac. The driver stops, expecting her to come back into view. When she doesn't, he stalls there for a while before slowly driving off. The girl is left standing there, unsure of what to do next. Eventually, she sees the car coming back and decides to stay put behind the truck. The Pontiac drives by and then reverses to try and talk to the girl, but she continually repositions herself out of view. Finally, he drives off again and the girl makes a run for it. After receiving multiple tips about the driver and his car, the police started an investigation. A 24-year-old man was identified as the driver. He was interviewed, but not arrested. He technically hadn't committed any crime, and therefore police couldn't really do anything. Whether or not the man was actually planning something that day is unknown.
Damn, man, there has to be some type of law changed or something. The fact that they couldn't do nothing to him, that is absolutely horrible. That means this man is so out there, and he's gonna try this again with another kid.
This is why you always lock your doors. Will from Will Whereabouts was camping in the middle of the woods in Box Hill, UK.
I think this will do for tonight's stealth camping. Freezing cold! That'll be a good way just to get some heat in here in the mornings and in the evenings when it really does start to drop. I've decided to put my gas portable stove just sitting on the boxes which it goes in, because I'm going to spark it up and get a bit of nice warm air to come through.
When suddenly, late at night, he's awoken by what sounds like human voices.
I don't think I'm going to be getting much sleep tonight.
Will explains he was all alone in that site, so what exactly made those sounds?
It's time to pack it up and go, my guy. Someone was either getting unalived or was having too much fun. Either way, I would have left.
Really mean. Think twice before you imitate your favorite rapper.
Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works? Sign completely of the curse? Different. How does it go? This is the sign of the horn. A curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know? The other one of them's the pox sign, that's three fingers extended. A pox on you? A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was... Yeah. Oh, yes.
that symbol that they're all doing, that symbol, he said, was a curse symbol of devils. That's the way they put curses on people. Right? And you've got people at rock concerts, they're all doing it, thinking it's cool. There they are doing these symbols, you see, and this is another symbol. Even though it means okay, it's actually a demonic symbol that represents 666. Don't do these signs. They're magical signs. We have no symbols in our religion.
In Ariana Grande's Break Free music video, you can see the seal of Satan. And also the symbol used for Kabbalah.
Why is there so much one-eye symbolism amongst these entertainers? Have you ever seen anybody when you take a picture and he says, hold on, hold on. I've never seen any normal person do that. Why do they do this? Because this is their religion. They worship the one-eyed God. Horus, he's called in Crowley's mythology. Why are all their symbols with one eye? What's happening? And then the pyramid, because they believe in a pharaonic structure. They believe in an elite, and then everybody else, the masses that just follow them and do what they tell them. But Shaitan is inspiring them to do this, because he's preparing.
I guess I already screwed up because I use the OK symbol all the time. Damn it. Yo, that guy was so lucky. He was seconds away from experiencing the full blast. That's probably from maybe not cleaning out the lint filter. I think your cat might be hungry, bro. Who the hell would keep that in their house?
People that died for their cell phones. In 2013, Roger Miro accidentally dropped his cell phone down the trash chute at his apartment complex. He decided to go down there and retrieve it, and after a few hours, his wife hadn't seen him, so she reported him missing. And that was when the police discovered he had climbed into the apartment trash compactor while looking for his phone, and it had crushed him. In 2014, a guy from Minnesota dropped his phone into the icy Chicago River. He tried to hold onto the rail right over here and get it out, but he slipped and fell in. Immediately, his girlfriend and friends jumped in to try and save him. He ended up dying in the hospital. His girlfriend's body was never found, and the friends were all in critical condition but survived. One night, Wendy Rybolt's house caught on fire. Her and her family all escaped. But while outside, she realized she didn't have her cell phone, so she ran back in to get it, and she never came back out. In 2014, a woman dropped her cell phone in an outhouse toilet. Her husband and mother-in-law went in to try and retrieve it and died from the fumes. In 2014, a man at 3 o'clock in the morning accidentally dropped his cell phone onto the subways in Brooklyn. He jumped down to try and get it before the train came, and although the train did see him, it couldn't stop in time. Sticking with subways, at the Christopher Street station in New York City, a man dropped his cell phone down. Now, there were no trains coming, so he was safely able to get down and get it, but while he grabbed it, he accidentally touched the third rail and was electrocuted to death. In 2015, a man from Iowa was driving his delivery truck when he spotted a cell phone laying in the middle of the highway. He pulled over, tried to get it, and was struck by 4 cars. A 45-year-old teacher named James Young went to the Cedar Point amusement park and dropped his phone off the Raptor roller coaster. He ended up going to the restricted area and was struck by the coaster at 56 miles an hour.
That last guy actually had heard about that story. I think he was actually decapitated by somebody's foot as the roller coaster was coming around. Oh God, no. Oh my God, that poor guy. Jeez, bro. I wonder if he's okay. He was rescued and suffered head and leg injuries, but is in stable condition. Yeah, he probably had a heart attack, man. I know I would have.
Organism 46B. If anybody knows more about this, I know Bo Diddley about it, but I know a little bit about it.
I had never heard about Organism 46B ever. Right?
An overview. Sure. Yeah, I love this.
Organism 46B was an enormous 33-foot, 14-tentacle squid-like creature which lived in Lake Vostok, a subglacial lake located under 2 miles of ice beneath Vostok Station in Antarctica. The animal had limbs that were aggressive even after amputation, could release a toxin into the water and immobilize its prey from distance up to 150 feet, displayed an astonishing degree of shape-shifting.
They're smart. Octopi are smart. Squid are smart.
Didn't we cover that they're basically aliens or something like that on a Strange Happenings episode?
Yeah. Probably are.
Or we talked about or had the theory that they were. This thing had telepathy.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
Telepathic cryptids, bro.
It's... Again, like you picked a good one. Like I've never heard of a demon octopi, but hey, it's a cryptid as far as I'm concerned in my book. Now somebody has to go to Antarctica and prove me wrong and get in Lake Vostok.
Not this guy.
But never been.
Open up Antarctica. Let's all go down there and have a good time.
Yeah.
Why can't we all enjoy it?
They are right about that, where they might be aliens. I think octopi are like wicked smart. They have camouflage capabilities. They're weird little animals, man. You can feel the relief. I couldn't imagine my reaction if I was driving down the road and saw that.
Reed Thomason found out through an infrared camera accidentally that our iPhones are taking invisible pictures of us every 5 seconds. Check this out.
Wild and crazy Friday night findings. We just discovered, which we already knew, that your phone, an iPhone specifically, takes an infrared picture of you with your Face ID every 5-ish seconds. And we looked at it through an infrared camera, and it's pretty wild. Let's show you. Okay, have your home screen.
It's on the home screen.
Not touching anything.
No buttons.
Okay, infrared lens on the camera. Boom, there was 1. 2. That's so wild. Okay, cover the camera.
Okay.
Oh, there was another one. Okay, nothing. Oh, it's trying. It's taking pictures of your finger. Okay, move your finger. Ready? Boom.
This is something that we can't see with the naked eye. However, with an infrared camera, we can. So a lot of people started testing it out.
It's picking me up right now.
It became a viral sensation, and there are thousands and countless videos of people trying this thing out with their infrared cameras. And well, news stations started trying to explain this. Apple released an official note, and apparently what they're saying is that this is an aspect of the iPhone. It has to do with Face ID and an emoji. However, internet users were baffled and confused, and so am I. Because if this does have to do with Face ID, why does it take these invisible pictures every 5 seconds and not all the time? How does this thing work? It doesn't make sense, does it?
At least you know why your battery dies so quick. Mine does. You're kind of blocking the view with the text on the screen. That's a little annoying. Oh, wow. No. Is this really happening right now? Broad daylight too. Hopefully she's okay, and pretty sure they have her plate number in her car. Always check your surroundings, guys. This could be you. Uh-oh. We got a Live Leak logo here. That's it? Oh, you tricked me. They got me with that Live Leak logo. Oh god, everyone in the comments is saying that that brown skid mark was poop. Maybe that's what that was. Gross.
Oh my gosh.
That was a pretty cool video, man. But very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
One story of how the internet came together to solve a crime. Back in 2018, an older gentleman arrives home from work only to discover that his wife is nowhere to be found. While this is not immediately alarming right off the bat, he begins doing a little looking around and discovers her bicycle is not in the garage where she leaves it. This, to him, is immediately alarming because you see she goes on the same bike ride every single day and is usually home hours before he even gets in his car and begins to head home. So he grabs his keys, gets in his car, and heads back out. And as he's driving up and down the road along the route that she usually rides on, he would make a heartbreaking discovery. He sees his wife's bike completely mangled off the road in the grass, finding her deceased not too far away from there. The police are immediately notified, and as they begin performing their investigation, they would have very little to go off of. They would only find a piece of a car part, and they had no idea what it was, or if it even came from the vehicle that hit this woman. Over the course of the next few weeks, the family is begging and pleading for whoever did this to just come forward, and one of the detectives takes a picture of this car part and posts it on a subreddit. Within the matter of a few days, you have all sorts of theories flowing into this thread when all of a sudden a man by the name of Jeff posts 1988 Chevy Silverado headlamp bezel. He posts a link to said car part, and it is a 100% match. Well, not too long after, the police would end up getting a tip about a 1988 Chevrolet K10 with damage on the front passenger side, and when they went up to the vehicle owner and began asking them questions, they immediately confessed to the crime. Now, the only reason that Jeff knew what this car part was is that he was a vehicle inspector for the state of Maryland for many years, and in that state you have to perform mandatory headlamp adjustments, and that is the only reason he knew what this car part was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is just...
I love that so much. I know the police complains a lot when people try to run their own investigations. There's a lot of cases out there that have been solved by people on the internet.
Another bizarre theory was that Mike had indeed traveled through time, all the way back to 1930s California, where a man matching Madman Mike's description was found deceased on a beach, folded several times into an impossible shape, small enough to fit inside a small metal tube, carrying an unknown small plastic device with wires inside, a device that confounded the local authorities at the time since they didn't have anything of the sort back then. Mike and Art Bell, the host of the show, referenced the Philadelphia experiment several times during their conversation. Basically, the goal was to use Tesla-inspired technology, including electromagnetic waves and radio frequency waves, to render a ship invisible. But the experiment went horribly wrong, causing sailors to become fused into the hull of the ship, some disappearing completely, and some driven mad by the low frequencies basically scrambling their brains. The government went to great lengths to cover the experiment up, including filling one of the bunkers containing some of the primary equipment with cement. My point is, many people over the years have claimed to have made free energy devices, like Nikola Tesla, only to be smeared, financially ruined, or worse, by the shadowy hidden powers of our world. Not to take anything away from Mike's potential genius, or the genius of many others, but what if concepts like time travel or free energy are easier to achieve than we're led to believe, but only require a certain fascination and a set of breakthroughs that are not allowed to happen? There's a reason why anyone who works on these projects openly disappears. Sometime in 1994, Michael Markham was studying for a major in electrical engineering while working at a factory that produced the cardboard tube that goes inside toilet paper rolls. According to his friends and law enforcement close to the case, Mike had a natural aptitude for electronics and fancied himself an inventor, and had invented several small devices such as an electronic cigarette lighter he had made from the parts he gathered from an old broken microwave oven, and an electronic piggy bank Mike designed and programmed to both count the coins he placed inside and display the total amount on a small screen. Along with dozens of other inventions, Mike was in the process of trying to patent, but the contraption he was most enthralled with was simple. Michael had repurposed a laser from a compact disc player, using it to fry the air in between two metal prongs, causing a visible arc of electricity, an effect known as a Jacob's ladder. Using the repurposed laser, Mike was able to reduce the air resistance between two wires, which created a continuous arc of electricity without the arc ever being severed. And it was at this point that the 21-year-old student claimed to have witnessed something incredible. According to Markham, the electrical arc formed into a vortex that was distorting the light around it, and the effect appeared to be three-dimensional. Entranced by the beautiful, mysterious effect he was observing, he decided to throw a small sheet metal screw into the vortex. When the screw hit the electricity, it apparently distorted for a split second before vanishing completely. Michael stood in front of his device, shocked, and trying to theorize what had just happened. But after a second, the screw reappeared in between the wires and dropped back out of the electrical vortex onto the floor in front of him. His mind raced before he suddenly came to the conclusion that the screw had time traveled. Amazed, he tried it a second time, and then a third time, before he began to race to figure out someone he could borrow a camcorder from to capture this breakthrough on video. But as he did, the compact disc laser caught fire and his contraption was destroyed. Now, this was actually quite the setback, as for some reason he had lost his job at the factory, which was the only thing keeping him afloat while he studied, and he was broke. But Michael believed he was so close to success with his inventions. He just needed to push through his financial struggles and it would all pay off. Although his friends and family noticed he had seemed solely focused and almost obsessive over his work, becoming distant and seeming to have stopped taking care of himself.
Wait, so the body that they found was this guy? Do they know when this guy actually died though? That's really strange. This looks like they snuck their phone into a Freddy Krueger nightmare. Nah, man. I would have to reschedule. My dude is tweaking.
Okay, babies, it's late. I'm out getting a tank of gas, and I watched a man put this on the gas handle, and I just had to run over to tell the little girl not to touch it. But I watched him do this. Do you see the tissue? You see it? So, if you ever find yourself at a gas station and a tissue is on the handle, or you come back to your car and you see a tissue under the handle of your vehicle, do not touch it at all, because this is what traffickers are doing. They're putting a toxin on the tissue, and then they're putting it in a place where you have to touch, and then they're waiting for you to pass out. Okay, and so this little girl pulled up getting ready to fill up her tank, and the guy is literally sitting in the car right there. He just walked away because he heard me talking about it, but pay attention, okay? Stay alert.
I would say she should probably call the cops, but you know the cops are probably not going to do anything. There's no way that carnival was open. Those were probably empty. Well, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of this video, just know that you're awesome and I appreciate every single one of you guys. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.